I just want to give you a bit of an insight into the AFL Enjoyers team. We're a bunch of unique individuals, Matsa, Sfenda, and Dean. We're going to engage with our minds and our hearts. We're going to exchange ideas, thoughts, and even our energy. And to speak from your heart, you need to have courage. You need to be honest and authentic. We're not always going to get it right, and sometimes you're not going to agree with us. But that's okay, because just like you, we care. Just like you, we're passionate about the game. So if you want to come along for the ride, join us at the AFL Enjoyers podcast, because we really enjoy the footy. Hello and welcome back to the AFL Enjoyers podcast. My name is Dean, joined once again by the boys, fellow enjoyers of the AFL, or maybe not. George Sfenda and James Matsa. How's it going, boys?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, no, not too bad. How's it going, Dino?
Pretty well. I've noticed George has gone and bought a new clipboard.
Yeah, I had to replace the old one. This actually is the old one. I just did some woodwork classes.
Oh, good on you.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, some do-it-yourself.
Yeah.
Over the long weekend, kind of put it back together.
You fell for those Bunnings ads, just like telling you to do shit on your own.
I saw one ad from Bunnings. They said they beat it by 10%.
That's it.
I was going to say,
Glue's 10% cheaper.
you're going to have to give Carlton some tips on repairing and rebuilding, I think. You did such a seamless job over there.
Mate, look, it's actually like Carlton. It's nice and shiny, but you put any pressure on it and it'll break. So I don't know if I should be giving advice, but yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Some repair the clipboard. Feel like myself again, mate.
That's good, man.
Harsh but true. So, boys, starting off the pod this week, I actually have a bit of breaking news. So, as you'll recall, a couple of weeks into the season, I spread the news, which has turned out to be factual. I guess we'll see, maybe.
Oh.
Hugh McLuggage on his way to Victoria at the end of the year.
Okay.
You heard it here first. I have a bit of an update on that, but this isn't the main news I have. I've narrowed it down to two teams for Hugh. Sources telling me Saints or Bombers. And the only reason I say that is because that's always the two teams that are linked with everybody. So,
what about North, man? North got a lot of attention back in the day.
Stuck in the midfield. However, actually, thank you for bringing up North.
Oh, you're welcome.
Because here is the update. The trade bomb, I'm going to call it.
Ooh.
The Dean bomb. So, North Melbourne, I don't know where this photo shoot came from, by the way. I actually showed Matsa the photo shoot, which was Sheezul, who is there? Will Phillips, Wardlaw, and Tommy Powell, so our young midfield brigade, in a very aesthetically pleasing. I'll zoom in so you don't see my news. I just want to show you this quickly, George, because Matt's seen this. What a lovely photo that is.
All looking in different directions.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, we'll put that up
Definitely.
on the YouTube
Absolutely.
after some editing.
Absolutely will be on the screen. Now, oftentimes we see players liking photos. We see it a lot in the NBA, Matt. I know you follow the NBA. Players will like a tweet and you think, geez, that's
on his
fueling
way.
the rumor. He's on his way, yeah? So, who liked this photo? It is someone who is a free agent at the end of the year. Someone who plays a position of need for North Melbourne, which in my opinion is another good halfback. Aaron Hall's done. Zeebel's coming towards the end.
Who is this?
So who liked this post? None other than Miller Bergman.
Oh,
Okay.
wait. But he plays at North.
Miles Bergman liked it.
All right. The other M. Bergman.
Miles Bergman
Oh,
liked
the Port
Okay.
Bergman.
it. The Port Bergman. Okay,
okay.
so
Okay.
I'm just saying there's a fit. There's a clear evidence. So lock it in. Miles Bergman to North at the end of the season.
So they're brothers, right?
They're actually not.
They're not. They just happen to have their names are two letters out. Yeah.
Yes.
Miller,
and they look kind of
Miles.
similar, weirdly. In a way, they could be brothers.
And do they play the same position?
Yes.
Similar,
So North just like brothers that look the same, that could possibly be the same people,
but aren't actually brothers.
but aren't actually brothers and aren't actually the same person.
No.
Pretty much.
Fair enough.
Pretty much. But yeah, that's it's
Ironclad.
spicy, that one.
And I should add, it was liked on the AFL Central. So AFL Central posted that photo, and he's liked it there. So
It's definitely not because, they're all mates and they're from the same draft and, they're all familiar with each other.
Definitely not.
Definitely because he wants to come to North and he's going to push for a move next year. He's going to request a trade out.
Clarko is known for the big recruit. He's a pretty good young player.
That would be a big move for leaving Port. They're flying at the moment.
10 wins in a row. So
Hey, man. He liked it, not me.
hey, true, man. Hey, unless you stole his phone, bro. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me.
No, it's just facts. So, yeah, I just thought I'd start off the pod on a high note.
That's some nice investigative journaling there, going through likes and seeing who's doing these things. How many scrolls Did you have to go through to find that out?
Not many. It actually just came up on Facebook.
Oh,
so
okay, fair enough.
just,
Oh, wow.
it presented itself to me.
There you
So I
go.
thought I'd share it with all the lovely viewers and listeners.
No, I like it. I think there was rumours of Ben Mackay going to Sydney or Port. Maybe he gets involved in the trade there, you know what I mean? Bergman and a second round pick.
You know what? I'll do some investigating.
Yeah.
Next week on the pod, I'll tell you what my boy Ben's going to do.
Well,
There we go.
let him come to Carlton, mate. Play with his brother. Help him get his kicking right.
I guess you guys do need some actual key position help.
Wouldn't-
Wiedering's not that good.
No, Wiedering's good. He'll be all right. But Young, I'm not a fan, mate.
Fair enough.
I'm over him, bro.
Fair
We'll
enough.
see. We'll see. I'll investigate. And we'll
Please.
get some evidence on that.
Give-
Give Carlton supporters some good news, mate.
Pay him the 900K so then we can get another, top 5 pick.
900K.
compo. Yep, 900K so then we can get a, first round compo and I'm cool.
If North gets, just by the way, to Matt's point, if North Melbourne does get a first round compo, it goes after your first round pick. So we'll potentially have picks 2 and 3. So you can take him. That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, absolutely. We saw what we did with 2 and 3 this year.
I'll
so.
take it back.
So actually on a different note, so some more news. I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but 2 things Richmond related. One of them, they're both very unfortunate. One of them, a terrible accident. Did you see the Bashar Hooley car accident that he was
I
part of?
haven't seen like the incident, but I saw that he.
I haven't seen
was
the
in
incident either. But
Yeah, but I heard that he wasn't in a good way.
No.
So all the best to team and his family. Hopefully he can recover and be all right because he was a champion of the game.
But did they have
Bashar
footage of Bashar?
No, sorry. The way I said that made it sound like there was something to see. But just, did you see the news I meant?
Yeah.
Apparently, pretty bad accident. Broken pelvis or something's being reported. So
Jeez.
yeah, pretty significant injuries. So hopefully he's okay. But then the other one, Marlian Pickett. Do you guys see that?
That's interesting. I don't think AFL players shouldn't be getting involved with crime,
Well,
like
it's-
organized crime. That's really bad.
Well,
like
it's
I'm
full-
hoping it's not the case that he was involved.
Well, no, he was, because he was in the magistrate's court on Monday with 12. He's been released on bail. 12 charges against him. 4 counts of aggravated burglary, 3 counts of stealing, and 3 counts of criminal damage. So
Just what was he stealing? Is there any
no
information?
idea.
It was about $380,000 worth of items or money. I'm not exactly sure what.
So apparently, yeah, he
was.
intends on defending the charges. So yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have said it was factual, 100%. But that's what he's been.
Dino with his fake news is going crazy today.
The other one was real, the Bergman one. This is sorry, I've just got to choose my words a bit more carefully. But
man.
like what the heck, mate? This guy's already had a bit of a checkered history.
He's been to jail.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a surprise, but apparently I think his brother or brother-in-law, I'm not sure exactly which one, did plead guilty to the charges. So what?
Taking the hit.
Maybe he's like, you know what, Marlian's got a chance to actually make some legitimate money playing
But
footy.
he would make legitimate money. Surely he's on at least 300, 400K.
You'd think so.
At least
After his rookie.
3 is probably fair. 350. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he has a huge contract because he did come into the system really late. Like he might have been 28 when he debuted. He's 31 now. He doesn't have that much years of footy to go. But regardless, like I feel like if you're a footballer, you have a chance to make money outside of footy as well. Like you'd be given the right, but you'd be pushed in the right direction by the club and by financial advisors that he should be fine. He shouldn't be doing this sort of stuff. But anyway, hopefully the allegations aren't true and we don't have someone in the AFL, doing that sort of stuff. But
He's not going to play now, right?
This week, definitely not. Apparently, next week he might be back.
yeah, that's the thing that I'm shocked with is that he's involved with that, and Richmond are like,
Richmond need a win, man. I don't know.
That's true. That's true. It's like we need our best players.
Blah,
huh?
blah, blah, outside noise, blah, blah, blah. Just play, bro.
So who are they playing? Hang on. Just want to see this. So the week after, is their bye. So it'd be the week after that against the Lions at the Gabba.
There you go.
Might want to steal a win, perhaps.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the football. So Thursday night footy was back, lads, and the Swans fell short against the Saints. So 2 goals to winners of that game. So 14-point win. I don't know why I said that in goals and behinds. But yeah, the Saints got the job done.
The spoiled buddies party, 350.
Friend of the pod, buddy. Congrats, 350 games. Champion of the game.
Fourth all-time goal kicker now, buddy.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, absolute legend of
What
the
a
game.
gun.
But I think it's another key forward that's kind of stealing the show at the moment. I think he kicked 3 goals, but Max King's come back with 11 goals in 3 games, man. Flowers to Max King, man. Hasn't missed a beat. Averaging, I think it's 3.7 goals. That's elite.
Yep.
So, no, I'm very...
Had that written down, so great observations there, Matsa.
Yeah, no, I think it was obvious. Like, it had to get mentioned that Max King he's the difference maker for them. So if they're gonna make finals, if they're gonna actually make some noise in the finals, it's Max King, the bailout option down forward, takes a contested mark. This year he's been a decent kick. That's been an issue for him in the past. If he stays consistent with that, then they're a force.
Yeah, we've only seen the little surface of what the Kings boys are actually capable of. So they're still young. In a couple of years' time, they're going to be dominating the competition. So it's pretty scary, to be honest.
Yeah, they did well, the Saints. I just wrote here from one of my notes for Sydney. Swans suck. What's the deal with these guys?
First quarter, man. 13 entries for 0 goals.
But I just don't understand. Like, we can blame their injuries all you want. Their injuries have been to their defense. What is going on with their attack?
Do you know the last time they haven't scored a goal in the first quarter?
Oh, when?
1997.
Whoa.
That's when I was born.
That's wild.
And I'm 21 now.
Something's wrong, though. Like, these guys were in the premiership final last year. Like, what on earth?
It doesn't make sense, man. But, like, we'll talk about Carlton later, but it seems like the mentality side or something going on in the background can really affect the way that you play as a team. I don't know, man. There's such a talented football club. These guys actually can kick the ball as opposed to Carlton. And yet, they can't take advantage of the opportunities.
Yeah, look, Saints are a tough game, but I'm sorry. When, you can't score anything in the first quarter and then you're just scoring 60-odd points for the game. Something's not right.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was having a look at their injury list and trying to find some excuses for them. The guys who are out, so Callum Mills, big out. Sam Reid, when he plays, he's, important for their structure. And Paddy McCartan and Logan McDonald. So I can see why there'd be issues now with them because key positions, they really determine how good a team's going to be, a lot of the time. If you have no good key positions, then, how are you going to get it forward? How are you going to defend the teams who do have good forwards? So that hurts, but...
Yeah, but is that the difference between making the grand final and being in the bottom 6 or whatever they are? Like, it's bad.
No, not Sam Reid and Paddy McCartan.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
Like, let's be fair. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's hard to know what's really happened to them, but I will say that pitch invader was probably the highlight of that game because he invaded the pitch, did a whole loop, and actually got away. And the security guards, I must admit, weren't very impressive. They're probably the worst performer of the night.
I think the only one who probably could have caught him was Nick Blakey, but he was concussed at the time. So, there's no other really pacey dudes.
That was not a fun game to watch, but that was a highlight.
Yeah. Sign him up, Sydney.
But I think the big talking point, at least for me, the thing that got me angry, because I actually wasn't watching this game live, but I saw on Facebook something pop up, dangerous tackle. And whenever I see dangerous tackle, I tune in because I know it's not dangerous. Let's be honest. And I saw that, and I actually tagged you guys in the Facebook post instantly saying, that's not dangerous. This is ridiculous. What is the AFL doing? And luckily, most of the AFL world agreed that the Butler tackle on the Lizard wasn't dangerous, and he still got banned for 1 week. What is the AFL doing, bro?
It's a results business, George. Because he got concussed, it's a week.
So that's the thing. It's like, all right, if he misses a week because of concussion, you miss a week because of the tackle. Like,
but he didn't. He got back up and started playing the Lizard. He played.
Wasn't he subbed off?
No, he did. He played. He played at least for another 15 minutes, mate. Then he got subbed off. So he passed the concussion test, if they even did one. But this is the interesting part, right? He just got off, which we expected him to do. But why did the AFL ban him in the first place? When the Instagram result came up, banned for 1 week, there were AFL footballers that actually commented, and I don't really see this very often where footballers will actually make a stand. So these are the players that commentated. They're saying in their disbelief that this was a tackle. Mitch Robinson, obviously, because that guy loves a tackle. Luke Ryan, Lockie Hunter, McCreary,
hey, our boy,
Zach Jones, Liam Stocker, Menadue,
Connor Menadue, North Melbourne legend.
Yeah, the legend. Jude Bolton.
Forgot he played for North.
Sam Reid, like what I'm saying is, how often do you see like a list of like current? Most of these players are current footballers going, bro. This is whack. That just shows the disconnect, man. AFL just. I know you're trying to stop lawsuits, but you're also trying to stop the game as well.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. Maybe it's because the lawsuits thing. They're scared of Gary Ablett Sr., Liam Picken. They're just like, those dudes have just,
I know, but they don't listen. They don't listen to the fans ever. AFL does not listen to the fans, man.
You know what I'm noticing as well is players either A, are trying to use that sling motion to draw a free kick at times. Can't think of any specific incident, but I swear I'm noticing more players sort of rolling with the tackle, maybe to try and draw a free. And secondly, I'm noticing when there is an actual big collision, I think it was in the Hawthorn game, there was 3 players that sort of combined near one of the goalposts, and it looked like a pretty crazy collision midair. And they all just bobbed up straight away, almost to say, like, don't test me for concussion. Like, I'm fine. Because they know that if they get tested, most of the time they're failing it. And then they're subbed off or they can't participate. So it's creating a lot of problems, not just for suspensions, but like players are either A, trying to draw the free and maybe becoming more...
They know how to adapt pretty quickly.
Yeah. Or they're just bobbing up and maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they actually need to just lie there for a second, get checked. So...
But there's literally a dangerous tackle ban every week.
Yeah.
The whole year.
It's crazy.
Like, come on, man.
Ruining
that just
Supercoach
pisses
as
me
well.
off.
It's not good for Supercoach either.
No, man. It's disgusting.
Well, Merritt got off, so that's good.
Yeah, no, that was huge. Not going to lie. But speaking of Supercoach, in my draft team, Sicily out, probably going to be out because of suspension. And then Blakey out for concussion. It's just like, I'm on both ends of this. I'm on both ends, man. Suspension and concussion. This is
Can't catch a break.
trash, man. Anyway.
I did just want to mention as well. So there was a bit of an incident in the last quarter of this game to do with the umpires. And you know how much I hate umpires. And also how much I hate them influencing goals.
Let's do it, Dino.
So, Mitch Owens, gets a free kick. Marks the ball outside 50. Player mans the mark. And he's, again, same as last week, a step ahead of the stand where the umpire wanted him to be. Who was it? Can't remember. Anyway, but he was told to stand, and then he was told move back a meter. So first he stands, then the umpire says move back, and he doesn't hear him, or maybe he's just too scared to move because he said stand. And then the umpire, without warning, without an extra whistle blow, back a meter, I said this last week, he's given a 50.
Criminal.
And actually gave the Saints the lead at the time.
There was two free kicks that gave them goals that gave them an advantage.
Ridiculous, man. So anywhere else on the field, you hear them say back a meter, back 3 meters. Yet for some reason, when it's right on the 50 and it's going to lead to a goal, they're just, no. One morning, that's it.
Umps want more scoring, maybe. Insider trading.
You know, maybe the AFL has told the umpires, like, look, we want more scoring.
If they had someone in the ear, give them a goal.
That's true. It's fixed.
Yes, sir.
You heard it here first. The AFL's rigged.
I've got Owens over 2.5 goals. Do it.
It's Gillum McLaughlin on the in the area.
Jeez. Anyway, just something that annoyed me once again. But what's new, right? Between the suspensions and these dubious calls, it just seems like there's always some
dubious calls,
dubious food.
Mike's
bit of a Zelda reference there, but okay. Yep. I think we've spoken enough about Saints and Swans. How about the next game, which was a pretty decent one? Port 10 wins in a row against the Dogs.
You asked, could they do 10 in a row? They can.
We doubted them.
We tipped against them.
I know we did.
Me and Matsa.
And that's we'll take.
I tipped Port, bro.
You did. It was me and Matsa.
You got it. You can take the flowers there on that one, Georgie.
That's right, man. We're a team here. We failed this tip.
Yeah, we did.
But honestly, you guys really need to think about what you've done.
Look, I cried that night.
Did you?
I was really upset. Nah.
You do realize that Zach Butters plays for Port, right?
I forget that sometimes.
Yeah, don't forget it, man.
Because sometimes I'll go to sleep and I'll dream. I'm like, I see him in a North Melbourne jumper. And it's
I did it as well.
In a Carlton, man, he would be perfect for you guys, man. Because he could play a bit of wing, play a bit of half forward, but then he can play in the guts when you guys need it. When Cripper's just not doing the job.
He's not. Yeah, I mean, this kid's insane. Another 10 coaches votes. He's I think 10 clear on Dacos for the coaches vote.
Whoa.
He's by far the best player in the comp at the moment. There's no you can't say that he isn't.
Do we put an AFL Enjoyers bet on the Brownlow for Zach Butters?
I think we should, man.
It doesn't look like he's slowing down. The only thing that stops him from really, really contesting this is dangerous tackle or injury.
Could you imagine if someone like him or Dacos or whoever doesn't win the Brownlow because of a weird call.
Because of a 1 week dangerous tackle, there wasn't. Yeah, but I bet you though. Yeah, we know that Brownlow favourites are exempt from those things.
I was going to say, so here's the Brownlow odds: $3 Nick Dacos, $5 Zach Butters. It's not even like a smoky.
No, it's not. No, he's leading the coaches vote. He's been good. Butters has been exceptional for 10 weeks.
Mm. Who would have thought start of the year Dacos and Butters would be Brownlow favourites?
It's changing the guard, man. It's actually quite exciting.
Yeah.
I like seeing the new players come in. I don't want to see the same old heads at the top, Oliver and Bont and Cripps. Move over, mate.
Yeah. Very true. Well, look, Port's won their 10th in a row, like we mentioned. And they're tied for first now with the Pies. Down 18%. So still a ways to go. If they finish on the same points, that's a pretty big percentage gap. But
it's still second is a home final. So,
and that might just be enough of them, because the way they're going.
But they've proven that they can play at other grounds. Right? There's some teams like Brisbane's the most notable one that fails outside of the Gabba. The Crows can't play outside Adelaide Oval, but Port they can travel. So
when you've won 10 in a row, there's gonna be a couple travels.
That's right. So pretty dangerous team, man.
Yeah. What do we make of the Dogs? I mean, they were in the game for the most part. Port really just sort of put the foot down right towards the end there, but I don't know. For me, we know their strengths. I don't know if you guys have seen, Bevo's getting a lot of criticism about his positioning of players.
His chess pieces.
Like now more than ever, it seems like it's really costing them.
But he's been like that for ages. He's always been a type of player that will move, plays in and out and try tricky things and not play their best players in their positions. Every supporter knows that player belongs there. Yeah. But he doesn't do it. And
it's been referred to as the Bevo salad by another podcast. And it's frustrating for supporters, man. Like Bont is finally playing in the guts.
And look what he's doing.
I know he's gone. He's Brownlow favourite. He's up there anyway. It's frustrating.
The other thing, no, you go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at least Treloar is finally playing in the guts now as well because he's been playing a lot of wing forward. McRae's playing more wing forward and is actually doing well. He's suiting the position, so that's kind of worked out.
It affects someone like a Bailey Smith. Because I know that we kind of see him as a winger, but I think his best position is in the guts. They actually just have a lot of players that are in the guts players. I wonder whether a strategy for them would be to sell one of those players off and, I don't know, find somewhere else where they could, get another player.
I think Bailey Smith's market would be huge. Like that's a top 10 pick.
100%.
And maybe another one. Maybe a top 10 and another first round. And then a second goes back the other way. Yeah. That's just off the top of my head, the sort of value
he has. Team that needs an inside burst midfielder, throw him right in there. He's getting 30 possessions and kicking a goal most weeks.
Can I give a bit of a hot take right now? Maybe unpopular. Maybe you'll actually agree. I think Aaron Norton is incredibly overrated. Thoughts?
I think people rate him so highly. That's the thing.
Yes.
He's not delivering.
No, he's not.
He's not delivering. And I wouldn't rate him as highly as the King brothers or Charlie Curnow. But I still think that he's going to become a pretty decent footballer. Still young in his career.
Fair enough. I think he's a victim of all the hype because huge game in the balance. He had 2 goals, 6 disposals overall. That's no impact.
But I think one of the issues with the Dogs is their midfielders get so much ball. Like every week, Treloar 30, Bont 30, Libba 30, McRae 30. One of their halfbacks, like Bailey Williams at the moment, is getting a lot of the ball. Caleb Daniel gets some. They just get so much ball. But getting ball doesn't lead necessarily to victory. We've seen it with a lot of teams. We saw it with Freo at the start of the year. They get all the ball. Unless it's effective disposals, like Port Adelaide cuts right through the middle. They had 100 less possessions than the Dogs, and they won. So I think that their mid-forward connection is a bit of a problem, like some other teams as well. So I don't know whether they're giving the Astronaut the best chances. There could be something in that. I just noticed that when the Dogs get so much more ball, smash them in the clearances, and Port still win, there's something wrong there.
Fair enough. Yeah, look, usually the forwards... It's well said. Yeah, I think usually forwards are sort of victims of the rest of the team's ball movement, like you said.
Right. So. And where's he getting his shots at goal as well? Like if you're getting fast movement, maybe he takes a mark 15 metres out right in front.
Yeah.
Or if it's all congested, he might have to go all the way to the boundary to take a mark to get, a separation from his opponent. Then he's going to miss. So there's a lot of those factors that come into it as well. But with such a talented midfield, they get so much of the ball. I don't know. Surely they should be giving their forward. Their forward should be starring.
Yeah. And he just seems like he hasn't in a while. So no, you're probably right there. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh, but he just hasn't caught my eye this year at all. And even last year, I don't know.
Well, look, I think he fits the definition of overrated. I think, because people see him as like, oh, he's one of the best key forwards in the game. Well, he's not.
No.
He's not.
It's not even close, mate.
Yeah, no.
You got players like Oscar Allen that have come out and playing well.
Yeah.
For a bad team. He's better.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Like another, again, like for North, we're a bottom 4 team. Larky's better than him as well, like with the goals that he's scoring.
Even, again, just to point towards how some bad teams can have good forwards, like Mitch Lewis. He's amazing.
Yeah.
So there's just a couple that I think are better than him as well. So anyway, we'll see how he goes. I think he's definitely a very interesting prospect, like athletically, great mark. So,
Dino's rocket, hopefully.
it's a mini rocket.
That little mini, I think it was a big rocket. We went in on him a little bit.
Watch him kick
a rocket for the astronaut.
That's That's fitting. Very fitting.
There you go. Yeah, he'll probably prove me wrong like everyone else that I shit on just ends up playing well. So that's okay.
True.
Good on him.
True. Yeah, pass the shit on your team.
That's it. That's it.
It's a thing.
Two good boys. How about the next game though? The Hawks, in the end, convincing winners over the Lions. What a win that was. These guys here are bottom 4 v top 4 and just made the Lions look silly. I watched the full game, sitting right on this couch in this position, and I'll tell you what, these guys, Hawthorn just slapped them up the whole game. You just were waiting for Brisbane to turn it on. Never came.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. I don't know. They just destroyed them in the inside 50s as well. Like they had all their ball. Their transition game was on point, and it's kind of been coined like the handball game. And what's really interesting is like they are moving the ball with the forward handball, which can get the overlap going and break zones. But Sicily said after in the interviews, like, I don't really know where this handball game kind of came from. We didn't really practice it, but it's just kind of happening. That's kind of weird though, because I think of Sam Mitchell as like this really masterful tactician, but they're just kind of just playing off instinct. But there you go. Players know how to play football if you allow them to play an instinctual game as well. So,
well, look, if they've been playing footy for like 10, 15 years, because they're playing from like, when they're little kids, you're going to pick up a couple things.
That's
so,
right.
Sometimes you just got to back in their skills and their instincts, and that worked in this game.
it seems to just be attack at all costs. Like your job is just attack, which actually seems to be the modern game. And, Collingwood does that. And, last year when Collingwood were doing that, we're like, oh, how can they keep it up? Surely teams can stop it. Well, Collingwood are the best team this year. And the Hawks are playing that exact kind of game style. And they're doing it with really young kids. So if the rest of the competition is starting to catch on that maybe that's the way to go forward, and we don't know whether that is going to end up being the game for the next couple of years, but let's say that's the modern game, the Hawks are ahead of rebuild of other teams playing that way. And they're obviously drafting for that strategy. And it's no surprise that they're starting to play. We've talked about how they play good halves, really dominant, high scoring. When they get the game going their way, one of the best teams in the comp can't stop it.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. The Mitchell as a coach is an interesting one, because I saw an interview of him saying that the way he wants to coach is like he wants to see what the game is going to be like in the next couple of years, and then get started on that game plan early. So he is probably like one of the strategic type coaches that if he gets it right, his team is going to be successful again, like it was. So interesting to see.
I think with Sam Mitchell, being that he's a club legend and it is a noticeably inexperienced list, he has the license to just play with what he's got for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like some coaches probably don't have that freedom to be like, oh, let's see what happens in the next couple of years and then I'll make my game plan. Someone like a Stewie Jew or maybe Kingsley, those type of dudes, they don't have time to sit around. They have to go and get results for their teams. So it's good that, fortunate for Sam that he's got that situation happening and he can play the long game.
Yeah, that's true. But it is interesting to hear him. Like, you don't hear other coaches kind of say, yeah, well, I think the game is going to be like this in the next couple of years. So, but if it is like that, and he's already predicted that, Hawks in 2 years' time are going to be a dominant force again. And that's just a super. If that happens, they're an incredible club, man.
Yeah. I think it's interesting as well with the whole young players, letting them play freely, because ultimately when you're a young player, in my opinion, and I've seen the opposite with North, trying to overcoach. I think David Noble was criticised often for having like too detailed of a game plan and the players were getting confused and and all this stuff. So for a young team, just play on instinct, play positive football.
But
you'll develop, and then the game will slow down, and you can actually apply some tactics when you're a bit smarter, and the game's slowed down a little bit, and you feel a bit more in control.
What happens after a coach gets sacked, and then the next week the team comes out and wins, and it always happens.
Exactly.
Because they like, just go out and play, boys. You know, this week just go out and play, have fun, and they just dominate.
Yeah.
Because footballers, as you say, have been playing it their whole life. They know how to kick. They know how to do what they need to do. The structures in place, if they don't suit or they're not taught properly, obviously impact the way that they play. I don't know. Coaching seems to be everything. Has to be.
And even just little things like players know as well what's easy to defend. And what's easy to defend is a long bomb down the wing and you've set up and you can intercept it and outnumber. What's hard to defend is actually players running at you in waves, handball chains. So, giving them the license to actually do that. And the Lions could not handle it. Like, just to go back on how bad the Lions were, I think they were expecting an easier game, and Hawthorn has proven that they can play good quarters and good halves against any team, really. But the Lions, mate, they were just making the silliest errors at one point. I was just thinking, like, who is this team? Am I watching, like, the Eagles or North or something? Like, kicks 15 metres away from a target, hitting the floor before it hits the target, like, missed handballs.
It's under too much pressure.
Atrocious, mate. So fair play to the Hawks. The Lions, look, this excuse of not being a great team away from home is not going to get them far.
No. They've lost their last 4 against the Hawks.
That's crazy.
It's a bit of a bogey team for some reason.
I guess I'm just thinking Fagan, he's involved with the Hawks, but that should help, if anything.
I know.
So I don't know. Look, could it be that they're sloppy after, a bye round and they just haven't really bounced back?
They're meant to be a professional team, man. They're meant to be at the best of their game. You can't give them that excuse.
And what's interesting is they beat the Pies, the Lions, who George has correctly said, at times Hawthorn can have that ballistic football, which is similar to how the Pies go about it. So they've proven they can beat in teams that play with that chaotic nature before. So for me, zero excuses. They were so bad. But take nothing away from the Hawks, who have not lost any admirers this year with some of their losses.
Remember, again, I've said it before, remember in the first couple of rounds where people were saying, like, Sam Mitchell will even win a game this year. The Hawks, their draft strategy to get rid of Tom Mitchell and stuff. Like, bro, get stuff, man. Now you've got Kane Cords going, bro, I love Sam Mitchell. Give him an extended contract. Just no accountability. Just flip.
Watch what you say about my mate Kane.
Say whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Only the 2 brain cells of everyone watching that show can't pick up on the fact that you change your mind every 2 seconds.
Oh, man. Very true. Well, how about the next game? So this one here, it's interesting to talk about. Not because the game itself was interesting, but the Crows absolutely just destroyed the Eagles.
How much was it in the end? Like 120?
Something like that, man.
130?
But the big talking point is Big Tex, Texas himself, 200 Supercoach points.
Congratulations, mate.
Is that first one of the year?
First one of the year. In his milestone game, 10 goals.
A great 10th goal as well. Kicked 2 goals on his left foot.
Yes. I think everyone was thinking after he kicked a few in the first quarter, like, oh, this is actually on. And then it just never stopped.
7 to half time, mate.
Yeah. It just never ended. He got it in the end in the last quarter. It was pretty fairy tale stuff from an Adelaide point of view.
Yeah.
Eagles are just along for the ride, I guess.
So they've had 9 goals kicked on them from Curnow, 10 goals from Taylor Walker. There's got to be another one in there.
Who's going to do 11?
Yeah, who's doing 11?
Ooh.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to look at their.
We're counting.
I'll have a little quick look at their fixture, all right, and let you guys be the judge.
You're right. The game had no value. It was just like whether you had the players in Supercoach, whether Tex Walker was going to kick like 20 goals. I was just watching Laird and watching him rack up the possessions, which was quite fun.
All right, so after their bye, there's Sydney Swans. Then they
Buddy. He's going for 3rd all time.
13.
Actually, look, the next one, it's at Optus Stadium, but St Kilda, Max King. Who are they going to have to stop him?
How much is he? He wouldn't have kicked more than 6 or 7 in his time.
I would think so. I think because he's still young. Like he would have
7 would be the absolute max.
Yeah, I reckon he's had a few bags.
But bag is 5.
These days are bags.
Are they playing the Bombers anytime soon? Because I think 2 meter Peter would be a good shout.
Because he takes his opportunities as well.
Joe Danaher, the next game, Brisbane.
Nah, not Danaher.
Danaher
can't rule it out. Even Cameron could kick 10.
Yeah, look,
I would say Cameron is more likely actually.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Eagles have Richmond the next game. Jack Rewalt might wind back the clock. Curnow again.
Oh, we've got
Charlie
round two.
again, round
The
19.
sequel.
Hey, that will be our next win. The West Coast one.
Nick Larkey the next week, so he might kick a bag and hopefully get the Coleman, and I can get that $100 from my bet.
Did you bet $100 on Lucky?
No, it was $5, but it was like
$5.
$100 return.
That would be insane if he wins.
Yeah,
I don't think he will.
Look, I don't think so either. But like when I saw that the odds, it would net me $100 for a $5 little bet. I'm like,
What a return!
yeah, exactly. How could you, it's a bargain, man. I've won already.
$5 for a Lucky is a good deal ananyway, man.
Absolutely, man. We'll be doing a few of those.
Can you cash out early?
Huh?
Can you cash out early on the bet?
I doubt there's a cash out right now.
Why would you want to?
No, I've got full faith. I've got full faith.
Can I just say though, just on this whole tech situation, I must have been going crazy because in the last quarter, Ruben Jinby and Oscar Allen at separate times were marking Tex Walker when he's going for his 10th goal. I need to rewatch the last quarter to see if I was seeing the right thing here. That is nuts.
Well, Yo played on him as well.
What is going on?
They don't have anyone.
no.
No, but that's not the answer, George. You can't. When the guy's going to get 10 goals, you don't put a rookie midfielder on him.
Yeah, that makes no
That's
sense.
you might as well. Jack Darling would have made a bit of sense. At least someone big and physical.
Yeah.
What on earth? That alone, forget their record. Adam Simpson, mate.
He's got to go.
We haven't been
Bro,
on your back.
He had the bet on the 10 goals.
We
as
actually
well.
feel a bit sorry for Adam Simpson. We haven't said anything bad about him all year because he's been dealt a really bad hand. But mate, this, I'm saying it now, suckable. What is that? How could you put Ruben Jinby on Taylor Walker and Oscar Allen, who's your key forward?
But
See,
was
Oscar Allen
Barras
makes
playing? No.
Nah, no
Was
McGovern.
no
No
McGovern.
Hearn.
No.
It
Come on,
doesn't
bro.
matter. Ruben Jinby.
Nah, Ruben Gibbies, that's ridiculous.
Anyone else? Oscar Allen, okay, you can defend.
Yeah, I can defend that one for sure. But
Well, who else is there?
Not Ruben Jinby. Not
he should be given all the midfield time that he wants.
Not a 10th
That's all.
game. Exactly. How is that developing him for the future? Your 10th game, top 10 pick.
It's Jimby, man. He could handle it.
He can handle it.
Just tackle him.
I'm sorry. That just made me lose it when I saw that.
Yeah,
You know who's actually positive? BJ Williams is actually becoming a decent footballer.
who'd have thought?
He's actually quite good.
Is he the one that Matsa always calls the child in the rock?
The child, mate.
Yeah, the child.
But he might be the child of the prophecy or something like that instead.
He
I don't know,
must
he's
be,
playing
man.
good.
The child has become a man.
Yeah.
There you go.
Before
yeah.
our eyes. Well, when's Nick Nat's gone, bro? He's not coming back.
Yeah, I think he's out for this season. I think he's just got to pull the pin and give the team their salary cap back. Seriously, it's sad to say, he's a champion of the game, but
Well, he never achieved what he could have achieved, Nick Nat.
look, we had some good times with Nick Nat, didn't he? He won a premiership. Did he win 2?
No, he didn't. He wasn't in the premiership.
No way.
Nick Nat missed in 2018.
But didn't he win one with back in the day?
Well, with Judd.
Yeah, with no, didn't they win another one? No, I don't know. Maybe he has.
They lost to Hawthorn. That's the one you're thinking. He was in that one where they lost to the Hawks.
No, because Gaff missed the 2018 and Nick Nat, and there was another one. There was number 5 or the halfback that missed as well.
Can't remember.
Shepherd.
Oh, did he miss? That sucks. He was a good player, man.
It's a good memory, George. Jeez.
Yeah, that's a really good memory. I like them.
Those
I
I think those
appreciate
were the big names that missed.
Mm.
Lysette got the flag, didn't he? Or Vardy, something like that.
I
So
think it was-
randos.
Vardy. It might have been Vardy.
Yeah, Vardy was in actually. You're right.
Yeah, you're right. No, he hasn't won a premiership, man. Yeah, it's just 3-time All-Australian, 2-time John Worsfold medal.
3-time Australian though is still pretty good.
Back
Considering
when,
he's only played 3 times.
back when it was Pritis, Nick Nat, a good Gaff, good Shuey, that was a really good midfield.
They were
Yeah.
quite a royal team. They're just pretty special. I mean, they won a flag. They did what they needed to do, man.
Mm.
But rebuild, please.
Yeah. And stop putting young midfielders on Tex Walker when he's about to kick 10.
Yep.
Cool. So the next game was Freo v the Tigers. We all tipped Freo, rightfully so. The Tigers have just come up with a great win here.
They're fighting hard for their season.
Mm.
And, 2 in a row. Good on them.
It's one of those ones where momentum can do a lot of things in a football game. Like Tigers had a slow start and then just put the foot down, got a few goals, and then all of a sudden Freo just couldn't get back in the game.
Well, Tigers played really, really well.
Yeah.
And they were really strong, from a defense perspective as well. A lot of intercept marks. Their transition from the back line was good. They were tough. Taranto has been starring, and he kicked his little soccer goal as well. And Shea Bolton is, he was an All-Australian last year, so he's not exactly come out of nowhere, but he's having another really strong season as well. So You're good on the Tigers for not laying down.
I think that's at least for them because Taranto and Bolton are relatively young players because they do have their draft capital is pretty low in the next couple of years because of the trades that they made for Taranto and Hopper, but at least they've got a few good young players that they'll have for another 5-6 years and play good footy. Now it's just hoping that guys like what's the guy Gibcus hasn't played in a while.
Yeah.
Young guys like that, Samson Ryan, they just need to get some consistent footy and be the key position pillars of the future. They've had a rough time of it this year without Tom Lynch as well. So, credit to them for
they needed
scrounging
Tom
a couple
Lynch
wins.
is a really important player. You can't replace him. Not with Rewell being old.
Do you guys give them a slight chance for the 8? They're 6 points out of it.
I give them a chance, yeah. Just because they're a mature team and they've done it before. There's still a nucleus there that is still Dustin Martin's still there, Cochran's still there. Still have that leadership. Broad still there. They've still got the firepower. Tom Lynch will be back at the end of the year. So if they are close, then at least come finals time, they could do some damage. A lot of competition around, but they're the type of team that can come clutch.
Yeah.
One player who's kicked 4, right? Jai Amos.
Really come into his own.
Yeah. At what stage is he a rising star favourite? He's kicked 23 goals.
That's a very good point.
Is he eligible?
Yeah. He won. He got the nomination last week or the week before.
It's one of those ones. If he was playing in Victoria, you
Probably
best bet the media will be all over it, right?
Absolutely, man. The Tide boy himself, man. He's doing really good, man.
Imagine if he got some sleep. Man.
If he got some sleep, and like me, if we both got sleep, we'd be on fire, man. I'd be an actual AFL footballer. He would be the GOAT. He'd be the GOAT.
Fair enough. Man.
But who wins Rising Star though? It's obviously Sheasel.
But Machito Owens exists as well.
I know, but yeah, he's
Machito's
special.
and Ashcroft is a gun. I want Sheasel to win.
It's got to be the hardest year so far, man.
Yeah, these are seriously 4 I reckon. Let's say 3, right? So Sheasel, Machito, and Ashcroft. They're genuine stars of the game already. And then Jai Amos, they seem to like giving it to the forward, as you would know.
Yeah.
Jesse Hogan back in the day. They like to give, the awards to the key forwards.
I think Mitch Owens is the biggest threat to Sheasel.
Yeah.
Surely Sheasel has to win it, man. If he plays like this for the rest of the year.
He's probably going to break Dacos's record for disposals. So, he might. Well, depending on where he plays.
Be interesting how it goes, but it's pretty exciting for the comp. You got all these guys in different positions playing really well. Like Sheasel was a bit of an X factor all over the ground. Ashcroft in the middle. Amos up forward. It's good stuff.
Players are just accelerating. I think we said it last week. They're just accelerating their progression. They just become really solid contributors to a team instantly. They're really high talent. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's what clubs are looking for as well. It's just okay, I think short term is in the plans for all clubs because they just want to show that they can do something, and the board members and the list managers they want to keep their jobs. Let's be fair. So they're thinking, I need a guy who can come in and actually provide for the team, and those players get rewarded. And those young guys they're getting their flowers. Yeah, from us, from the media. That's it, man. From their teams, from their coaches, from their families, even fams.
Everyone.
From God.
Everyone, man.
What did you guys? You talked about youth. What did you guys think about the old man himself, Fifi?
Fifi, man,
coming back into the midfield.
Nathaniel Fife.
Yeah. He played a good second half. Got him back in it.
It's good to see him back out there.
With
obviously.
Walters coming in as well from the sub and impacting.
He's a champion of the game. I just wonder what Freo can do to get the most out of him now. Because their young midfield is very good. Their forward line is developing, and he's not really great kick a goal or anything. You wouldn't put him down back. So it's sort of I don't know, is it sort of like a Cunnington thing with North where he's definitely not as declined as Cunnington, but we don't want Cunnington really in the guts anymore. Does Freo want Fife in there? I don't know.
I imagine they don't.
Maybe not.
Because the thing is, they recruited Jaeger O'Meara who didn't play. On the weekend as well. And then Matt Johnson's come in and been a really, solid contributor.
And he needs to play because he's talented.
Oh, he's so clean.
He's really good.
He's so clean.
I don't know
Matty Johnson.
do you know when he went in the draft? He would have been high.
I think he was in the top 25. He might have been picked 20 or 21.
First pick of night 2. So 2021 because there was a few bids. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was so not this recent draft, but the one before, and that was a good draft for them. That was Jai Amos, Matt Johnson, and another Western Australian boy. I can't remember who it was, but it was three.
I've forgotten his name, but
but it was a good draft for Fremantle. Like 3 local boys in the top 20 picks, and they were all highly touted players as well. So
it's a good question though. Like you, I actually think they don't want him in the guts full time, but how do you get the most out of him when he's not in there? I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and I think he's re-signed a couple of years as well. And he apparently had offers from other clubs. So obviously they still value him. Maybe they just didn't want to see him go because it's like it would disappoint the fans. Like
maybe.
But they would be in the best position to know whether he can actually impact the team still. Because the guy's had like 600 surgeries. But can he actually play his best football again?
Not his best.
No. Well, not his best, but like, good football. Like someone like Travis Boak, like he's ancient, but he still can contribute. This year, not as much. But how long can Fife go on? Because you really want him to come back in. Now, if they've gone, all right, the forward experiment doesn't work, we're going to play him low minutes midfield and then maybe just resting forward. If he starts to really contribute in the midfield, you've got to play him there. There's no other spot. Otherwise, just drop him and part ways.
Well, there's players that are old that can still contribute. Like even Paddy Dangerfield this year, even though he's been out for a while, his first 8 rounds were
But he doesn't have the injury history that Fife has, though.
Yeah, true.
And Dangerfield still, for some reason, has pace. Not like he used to, but he still has it.
He's
got burst.
Yeah. I don't know if he's got like the... Actually, no, he's still quick.
He's still quick, man. But Fife isn't... Well, Fife's never been quick, but yeah.
It's funny. When we were watching the game, there was one moment where he did look quick, and then I realized, okay, he just ran around Nank. So it's like, I'm not going to give him the credit just yet.
Everything's relative.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor old Nank. Okay, so Sunday's games, we have North falling short to the Giants. We went a unanimous North. I was very excited. I actually went into the game just cool as you like. I thought, you know what? We're going to be competitive, and we might actually win this one. And Matsa was watching with me over here, and we were competitive for the first half. It was really fun to watch. I was jumping out of my seat for a few of those Taron Thomas goals and some good memories, but ultimately in the third quarter, we just felt very, very flat. And then, the Giants...
ran out of steam. But look, I'm a neutral, or a semi-neutral, right, for North. But very exciting. I think, you guys, I was typing to you guys, like, how different a team can look when the youth is playing well. And suddenly you look at your list, you're like, he's talent. You start feeling good about the way that the team is playing. All right, fine. They, fell out of legs at the end against a mature midfield. Fine. It's no problem, man.
Yep. Honestly, I feel similarly. It's like you look at the list and you go through, like Phillips has had a little resurgence the last month. Wardlaw's rising star nom. He's incredible.
The whole league is frothing over him, not just us. Like,
I know.
Everyone's in love with this kid.
Yeah, I think you know what it is. It's just the he plays with Eddie Ford who plays with Moxie. George Wardlaw also plays with Moxie, and he has that agility. You can see the strength on the guy. Like his legs look huge, and he's 18 or something.
And he takes on the play. He's not afraid to hold on to it for like a second longer, do the loop around, get it out.
Now I understand why Cal Toomey during the draft process, he said this kid, if he didn't have injuries, he would have been rivaling Ashcroft, if not number 1.
He actually had Wardlaw first all year until the very end, and simply just because of the mountain of games Ashcroft played compared to Wardlaw. He sort of had to move him.
Yeah, I think, did you say Warlord?
Whatever I said.
You might have snuck in a Warlord. I hope you did.
He's the Warlord. But
he is.
Yeah, so Cal obviously is very respected in the draft space. But yeah, man, this kid, he physically, I think he's going to be, just by looking at him, the most impressive midfielder in the next, give him 3 years. I think you'll look at him and just be scared. Honestly, he's an absolute animal. But I agree with Matsa. Look, ultimately, North, we're at that phase now where we're actually competitive for a quarter or a half, maybe even 3/4. And I'll take that compared to where we've been.
Yeah. Moving on to GWS a little bit, right? I have a little theory behind Harry Himmelberg playing defense, right?
Go for it.
It came out at a similar time that he was planning to re-sign.
Yeah.
And my guess is he's gone to the club and been like, look, my value to this team is not as a forward. We drafted Cadman. We have Riccardi, who's playing some decent footy. And
Hogan.
Was it?
Hogan.
Hogan as well, playing decent footy. My value is in the defence. Play me there and I will re-sign. And he's coming.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
It was pretty clear. Because then they start saying, yeah, we'll just try him back in the defence. And we're really excited about seeing him play there for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and now it's like...
That's a very big statement, you know?
Yeah. I think he's come out and been like, look, Richmond have probably sent me an offer. Carlton's probably sent me an offer.
Probably.
All these teams who need defenders are sending me offers. Play me defence. Otherwise, yeah. So, but no, he had a pretty decent performance. Like he's what's it called? Readjusted pretty quickly to his defender role.
He's physically so impressive. Like we've seen him take some great marks this year already, and now you put him behind the ball where he can read it every time.
He's a good kick.
Jump over guys. He's a great kick for a big man.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Speaking of big men, man, there, Kieran Briggs. Is he not the most in form?
Man,
ruck in the comp.
Look, we all love Goldie, superstar Goldie. He's destroyed Goldie, man.
Man, he's just so big. He's just like you look at him, it's like, man, like that's a tall bloke, and it's Darcy.
He's quite mobile as well. I think he's way more mobile than Sean Darcy, though.
Yeah, no, for sure.
He's pinching it out of the ruck. He probably took it out of the ruck in front of Goldie's face like 5 times.
And he did this thing where he somehow manages to get a kick off, even if it's off the ground, or if he manages to quickly grab it and kick it. So often, I'm like, how does this dude have the coordination for that? You know?
Yeah, no, he's quite impressive. I don't think Matthew Flynn's getting into the team anytime soon.
Or Bruce, man.
Bruce is out for the season.
Oh, well, there you go.
He's never been reliable for them, so this guy is proving himself week in, week out against great ruckman. You keep him in.
Absolutely, man.
I did want to mention as well, actually, someone I'm going to give flowers to, and it's not a North player. It's the first time I've done it all year that I've given flowers to someone that's just beaten my team. So this is a pretty big deal. Cal Brown for the
who
GWS
is this guy,
Giants. This guy here, he's Irish. He's listed on the AFL app as a key defender, 188 centimetres. He's been moved forward, seemingly in a swap with Himmelberg almost. And last week I noticed him. I'm like, oh, this guy's very athletic, great kicking.
Fast, huh?
He's fast, he's strong. He bombs the ball from outside 50 with ease. And then he plays North, and we didn't have the best matchup for him, to be honest.
Luke McDonald.
It was a bit of of just random matchups. It wasn't great, but he was making clever runs, and I think that's where I'm most impressed, which is you can be physical, you can be athletic, all these things. But this guy's leading in a space. He's making the right moves. So I think, just a bit of respect to be shown for him.
No, I like that. It's a great shout because he can be the mismatch forward that, causes so many teams problems. Like Jordan De Goey was that type of player before he was playing in the guts. He was the guy who was... do you put your third tall on him? Do you put someone smaller? Do you put your second tall on him in defense? Like, how do you deal with this guy? He might be that with his athleticism and his burst.
It definitely caught me by surprise because I don't know much about him.
Yeah.
But watching him, he caught the eye, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Eye test passed with
passed
flying colours against us. And maybe that was because he came up against, to be honest, McDonald's not a good defender. He's just not. It's unfortunate. He's just... And Aaron Hall, forget about it. So, but no, you still gotta, forget about it. You still gotta come in and do the job. Regardless who your opponent is.
What do you guys make of Hall? Because from the outside, it looks like he's playing good football.
Well, look, from the outside is what you would say, because he gets the, he'll handball and get a receive and bomb it long, and these things are fun to watch at times. But ultimately, he's playing in that 50-meter arc to be a defender, and so many of the time he just can't bend down below his knees. He's getting out marked. Like he's past that, but unfortunately we don't have anyone fit that can replace him. Like Josh Goda, who showed a bit of promise earlier in the year, he's injured. Guys like Flynn Perez just aren't good enough. Jackson Archer's not fit enough yet. Miles Bergman, when we get him, we'll replace him.
True.
But ultimately, look, Hall's there for now. But as soon as someone comes along that takes his spot, he's not getting it back.
Yeah. And see, the thing is, if we want to eventually move Sheasel forward, we need 2 decent halfbacks to come in and fill that role. So I think that might be...
Zeebel's not a halfback, but he needs to be replaced as well. So there's a bit of work in the defence.
That's a big position of need now that I look about it. Halfback.
I think we've already got him. Like, jokes aside, Josh Goda, we drafted him pretty early a few years ago. Jackson Archer showed some promise when he played AFL level last year. And I'm not even joking. If we do get someone like Miles Bergman, there you go.
I think you need 1 or 2, like Miles Bergman, and then what's it called? A draft a draft player maybe.
Potentially, yeah.
Because I think you can never really have enough halfbacks because they can play the wing, they can play other roles. Silky ball use is needed everywhere.
Depending, you're 100% right. But also depending on the type of halfback, they can go into the midfield. So Jordan Dawson's done it. Laird has probably been the most successful one of it. Jack Sinclair's done it. Doherty tries to do it, doesn't do it successfully, but
tries to do it.
They can actually go and play midfield. So
fair enough. Well, speaking of Doherty, it's Carlton time, baby.
Can we not talk about the Blues anymore, man? I'm over it.
George, how again, mate? They can't score more than 60 points in the 50s again,
mate. It's actually like. I cannot believe what has happened to them. It's not funny, but I don't know what it is, but they're bottom 4. They're bottom 4, bro.
That's bad.
The only teams below them are Hawks, North, and West Coast. Every other team in the comp is above them.
And we were saying this pre-pod. If you played the Hawks this Friday night, they would pump you.
But put it this way, we're up against Gold Coast, fresh off the bye. I'm not confident. Are you guys confident?
Yeah, and if it was in Gold Coast, I would have no hesitations just to tip them.
But why should we even have a hesitation not to tip them now? Carlton has lost 6 in a row.
True.
Spoiler alert for my tips later. I'm tipping Gold Coast without hesitation. This team earns no respect.
Yeah, mate. The fans were abusing them you're shit.
Take off the jumper.
Take off the
jumper, all of you.
Your life is worthless. Go back to your mama.
Not cool, but funny though. No, that was funny.
I'm not for that type of, and the players are just walking awkwardly. It's a bit weird. But the majority of fans aren't physically abusing the players, but
physically.
Aren't physically abusing the players. They probably would if they could. They just want some answers, man. I just want some. I don't know what's wrong.
Well, the thing is as well. You look at the game, 6 goals, 16. To 13-8. So you've had more scoring shots. I know that's not the be-all and end-all, and you didn't deserve to win even if you kicked more accurately, but that's bad. 6-16.
The interesting thing about the Essendon game, I was thinking about it a bit. Carlton won the ground ball gets in the first half, the contested possessions, the inside 50s. They won everything. The only thing they didn't do is kick goals. So the biggest issue with the Blues, and they have been all right in terms of the inside 50s contested ball over the last 4 or 5 weeks, right? But they just can't kick goals for some reason. So I don't know. The connection is shocking. They turn the ball over. They just pop it on top of the forwards' heads. The small forwards don't know what a crumb is at all. They've never crumbed in their life ever. Our small forwards are shocking.
They've never had bread.
They don't know what fermentation is. They're just. There's no synergy, and it was perfectly shown by when Owies and Kerno went for the same ball and then both left it. This is the AFL football, bro.
Can I just say for the record, Owies all day, that's yours, mate. He was in front. Jump and mark the ball.
Which is interesting because Gary Lyon was like, Kerno, if you ever let him get in front of you again, you should be ashamed of yourself.
No, you can't control what your teammate does, mate.
Bro, just take it, someone. Call, maybe communicate, use the English language.
Yeah.
There's literally one word, mine.
You could use other languages and learn that word for mine, or take it or something.
Speaking of his small forwards as well, I mentioned this again off the pod. Jack Martin is 28 years old.
He's the number 1 draft pick.
That makes me feel old. Secondly, he was signed as a good signing to top up your forward line. You had the keys in place. So he's done nothing.
So this is why I reckon, you could dissect this Carlton thing for an hour, and we don't have an hour, but let me try. Is it coaching, right? We've been through 3 or 4 coaches, right? So maybe it's not coaching, or maybe it is. Is it the players? The players have been rebuilt from scratch over 7 years. We thought we had a good list, and now I'm looking at the team, and this is the first time I've kind of gone, well, if we sold Cripps for a number 1 draft pick, and then we sold Saad, and then we got rid of Mackay to Sydney or some shit, and I'm starting to think, and then we loaded up the draft and we got 3 picks. And the first time I'm thinking, get rid of all. I want them all gone. Every player I want gone, except for Chera, Walsh, Kerno, and Hollands and Kemp. Everyone else can go.
And Kemp joins the list.
He's young and he hasn't been given a shot, and I think he's a decent player, right? Cowan, these type of players you keep. Chera is a great midfielder. Walsh, put him on the ball and nothing else. Kerno is a superstar. Everyone else, get stuff, bro. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you sucking. I'm sick of your bullshit, worthless culture and how you can never handle the pressure. I'm sick of you not being able to kick a goal straight. Peter Wright never misses ever.
He did that. I was going to say 5 goals zip.
5 zip on return.
So it could be the players. It could be the coaching. It could be a board level, ritual curse that filters down. That's been like that for 20 years, and for some reason the board just doesn't know how to. They're the only club that can never run. Like, it can't be that hard.
Can I just say,
it cannot be that hard. It cannot be that hard to just be decent at football.
Well, that's what I'm going to say.
We're bottom 4, bro.
I'm agreeing with you. My thing is the board thing. The board thing just cracks me up because the board, I actually agree, makes a difference if everything's aligned for premiership success. We're just talking about making the 8 here. Right. It's not the board.
And how funny is it? No other team talks about the board ever.
Exactly.
But Carlton's board, because they just can't get it right.
Mate, at this rate, just forget the Tassie jokes with North. We'll have to get the Tassie Blues, mate.
True, man.
But then you think to yourself, but maybe if they just got that connection right, they're winning the ball. They're defending all right. They're not actually not that bad. They're not bad at defending transition, mainly, I think. They just can't kick goals.
Unfortunately, you need to kick goals to win games of football, George.
Yeah, well, they don't know that.
I think they need to start reading books and yoga, the power of now.
Yeah, they need to
seriously.
They need to get Eckhart Tolle.
That's it.
Guest speaker.
That's it. You need to be calm and you get the ball.
But this is the thing, right? I think he needs to do some serious voodoo shit on them.
Legit.
Matthew Kennedy was talking to him this week. Right? He's like, we've got to let go of the fear, we've got to be present. Like, bro, why are you scared? What type of culture do you have that you're scared to play football? Why is that? Why is fear even part of the equation? Who's coaching these guys to let them be scared to take the game on? And even when they take the game on, and they took the game on, they still only scored 50 points. Don't take the game on, 50 points. Take the game on, 50 points.
Man. You summed it up very well there, George. I appreciate the emotion.
What else I got here?
He's got more.
Jeez. All right, Dane Swan.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Does the Twitter? I don't go on Twitter much. I don't really know how to use it, and I don't know my username and password. But the Twitter on Facebook, no, not on Facebook, on the computer, that thing, right? It auto loads, so I don't need to know what my password is on the computer. So I type in Carlton. Dane Swan pops up.
Okay.
Feel sorry for the Blues. Been too shit for too long. Dane Swan, get stuff, bro. I don't want your sympathy. We're getting sympathy from Dane Swan, who hates Carlton more than anything. He's like, you know what? Carlton is so pathetic that I'm going to give him, I'm going to pat him like a little dog. Like, we're meant to be a fierce team that was like a champion team. Dane Swan, they're there, Carlton.
That's a new low. Shit. That's a new low.
Yeah, people are feeling sorry for us now. And because we're so bad, man.
It is bad, mate.
And one other thing I'll say before I wrap it up. I know that the umpires weren't the reason we lost, but I won't be that guy that says umpires lost it. They made some ridiculous calls because we got a couple of goals taken off us in the goal square. Tom de Koning, 2 pushes in the back, right? When they weren't really pushes in the back. They haven't played push in the back all year, and they decided to play that just for this game. And then they forgot about it again. That is just not okay, especially when they're hard-earned marks in a tight game. If we kick those, things could have been different. It was still a tight game, right? But this game, the umpires whistled every 30 seconds. High, tackle, holding, it was so hard to watch. And all the comments from neutral supporters on Fan Footy, on Facebook, everywhere was like umpires, 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 right? So it wasn't just Carlton being hard done by or Essendon being hard done by. It's just umpires having too much of an involvement in the game. And it honestly, that's the thing that makes me the most angry out of anything. Umpire decisions make me more angry than Carlton being shit. Because they're not meant to be playing the game, but umpires, they're influencing it more than anyone else.
I agree.
And the main point I have is this was the Sunday night game. Meant to be a blockbuster. Massive crowd. The other blockbuster, Collingwood and Melbourne, was umpired like a final. They did not, people were falling on top of each other, tackling each other to the ground, kicking each other in the head, play on. That is how football is meant to be umpired.
You said a few weeks ago, I wish there was only like 5 or so free kicks per team,
The
per game.
amount of decisions.
Can I tell you how many there were? This even shocked me. 18 for Carlton, which is thereabouts on league average. 32 for Essendon.
That's what I'm saying. And I don't know why Essendon got more free kicks. Are they lucky? Was it the way we were playing? You could tell from a Carlton perspective why I felt like we were being hard done by, given the fact that it's almost double. But stop it.
Especially
leave the game alone, you pricks.
Yep, I agree, man. You're preaching to the converted here. But especially in the 50, when it leads to goals, it does change the momentum.
Bro, Tom DeConner took 2 marks in the goal square that were reversed. How, as a player, when you're already down, how are you meant to recover from that?
It's actually, I agree with you. It does make.
And then there's
life
dissent. I would have gone up and just lost my career. Honestly.
George has lost it.
But the umpire thing makes me more angry than Carlton being bad. I don't know why, it just does.
Yeah, fair enough, man. I think you had a little bit of a rev up during the week by a mate of our friend of the pod, Chris, in one of the group chats. He's like, I need some passion, I need some fire. I think you gave it
the thing is
I'm proud of you, Georgie.
I'm only angry for 5 minutes after the game, right? So it's been like a couple of days. Like I'll move on. But the umpires thing, man.
So usually, hang on a second. So I've just realised now. Usually Carlton's on the Thursday or Friday night. George lets this out by the time we record.
This
is like pretty raw still.
You need to get me. You need to get me right after the game. You need to bust into my house like Marlon Pickett.
I'd love it.
And steal a microphone and put it right next. Then I'll give you something.
Fair enough. Well, look, we do have a few Bomber fans that listen to the pod, so I thought we should touch on them a little bit.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's not talk about it.
I want to say possibly the best winger in the game is Nick Martin.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Seriously,
man.
He's super in form.
Yeah, he is.
And if he played at Collingwood, right, for example, like a team in the top 4, he'd be all Australian for sure.
But I think he's getting recognition now. So
yeah, so maybe he might even.
I think he might. Yeah,
he might. Sneak
he's
in.
definitely in the 40. But we'll see.
If the AFL, the All Australian selectors decide to be true to position, unlike us,
they won't.
No way. And they really want a proper wingman in. Look no further. He's playing super well.
That's a good shout, mate. So have you guys noticed as well that Ashley McGrath is playing weirdly above his size in defence? Like he'll be matched up with a big dude and actually hold his own.
Well, I kind of forgot he existed, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So he's the weirdest number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Like it's just like he's not a flop, but he's just solid.
Did he? Did you notice? Dean obviously noticed he played. I didn't really. You don't notice him, man.
No, I pay attention to
okay. I just hate Essendon.
Yeah, fair enough. See, Dino, does he give you Andrew Wiggins vibes, or is this like a solid dude, solid role player, a number 1 pick? You know what I mean?
You're right. You can't call them flops by any means. But then I think over the time of his career, similar to an Andrew Wiggins, he'll be successful.
Yeah, but I think at one stage, McGrath was like, "Oh man, this guy's looking really good. He's about to explode." And now he's just kind of like, "All right, role player." Right? That's exactly Wiggins, except for the team move. Anyway,
It's
little
interesting.
NBA.
Does he? I don't watch enough Essendon, but does he play on ball at all anymore?
No,
or not at all.
No.
Interesting call.
But they've got players like Perkins, Hobbs.
Hobbs is playing all right.
Who's the other one that came from GWS? Jackson Hatley.
Caldwell, yeah.
Oh, where's Hatley?
Hatley's at Adelaide.
Not
getting it.
Caldwell,
He's in the Sandwell.
It's Caldwell.
But these are young players that are very talented that are getting experience because Parrish is out and Shields out, but they've played well. Like Perkins has been really good this year. Hobbs has taken his opportunity. They still got Nick Cox on the side. So I mean they've got some
Elijah
talent.
Sardis, top pick from last year.
Stringer was a handful. So Essendon need him at his best if they want to win finals. He's just the X factor player that no one can match up on.
Against the slower midfield, he can dominate because he's, even though he's got that burst, he's kind of slow himself. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of a bit of a plodding. He's not the package. He's not a two-way runner.
He's not a two-way runner. No,
you
not
know
at
what
all.
I mean? I just don't think so against the slower midfield, who you guys. Yeah,
and the other thing is Mullet Man destroyed Tom DeConning.
Really?
He just put him to the sword. So he's becoming quite a good ruck.
You're saying Norton overrated earlier? You'd mentioned it to me recently. DeConning.
Yeah, what's all this hype about? Oh, keep him or don't get rid, mate. This guy, just get rid of him.
But he's a ruckman, right? But they do take time.
Sell, mate. Sell.
I don't know how old he's compared to. What's the Essendon guy's name?
Draper.
I don't know how old he's compared to Draper, but Draper's coming along nicely.
Mate, there is no way in this AFL you overpay for a ruckman. Full stop.
No, but put it this way: Carlton needs to get rid of him because I said before, they need to semi-rebuild this team with young talent that hasn't been corrupted by whatever system Carlton's in. Tom De Koning, if you could get anything like a first round for this guy, see, mate.
Even more so, like, you can't pay the guy the amount that apparently he wants or he's going to demand. Like, no way. Ruckman, there's a Ruckman merry-go-round every offseason. Just pick up a new one.
Pick up Kieran Briggs, bro.
Correct. Pick up a new one.
Bruce is going to be gone because Briggs is the new number one ruck.
Just take him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's 23.
I don't think
so. That's enough time, in my opinion, to get your body right. Like, and Draper's 24.
Look, personally, I think Tom De Koning's going to be a good player. Don't get me wrong, but I think you don't need, like we just talked about Nathan Vardy being a premiership ruck. Who's he, bro?
Correct.
Yeah, who he?
Who he? So you don't need it.
100%.
I don't think you need it. You can have champions that make it better, like Nick Nat, full form player, Max Gawn. You know, yeah, obviously it makes a big difference, but if they're just a soldier, like Darcy Cameron, he's probably going to be a premiership ruck.
Mm. He's a solid player.
He's a solid player, but ruckmen are actually solid footballers because there's only one per team. They're all pretty solid footballers, man.
Mm. Pretty much they're tall, strong, and can run.
Yeah.
That's literally the only thing you need.
Think about how hard it is to be...
Obviously, there's the nuances and there's the technique stuff. But let's be fair. You're there to crash packs. You're there to try to tap it to your teammates. You know, and you need to be able to run. That's the main thing. And that's why I've heard the Mays... I don't know if it's Mays or Hayes from Port Adelaide. He can't get a game even though he's a great ruck because he just doesn't have the running ability.
Mm.
You know? And... yeah.
It's a fair call, Matsa. We should move on to the last game now. So Melbourne got their statement win over the Pies, which I predicted. I just want to remind you boys.
Impressive win, actually.
It was a good tip from me. Impressive win. I guess what's more impressive, my tip or Melbourne's win? We can let the viewers decide.
Melbourne's win.
I think it's tip because the game, like it was 8 goals, 18. I don't know. It wasn't the cleanest game, but they held that out at least.
It was a finals-like kind of high. It was pretty cool to watch, actually.
Could have been worse, to be fair. Melbourne, 8 goals, 18. They were the better team. They deserved their win. I found it so funny. At the end of the game, Melbourne's up by a few goals, and you hear the fans in the background, Melbourne, giving the Collingwood fans shit, only to then concede 2 goals in a minute. Yeah, I know. And then just silence. So it would have actually been pretty funny.
Trust Dacos to be the one that finds a way to kick that goal, man.
I know. But now the Pies, look, I was actually thinking for a second, geez, they're going to do it again, the guys. These guys, no way. But credit to Melbourne, full value for their win. God, man, Jack Viney won the medal for best on ground. What a game he had.
Anytime that he goes and takes that like main role in the midfield, he dominates. Yeah. But with Oliver out, and like Oliver being out and them still winning is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, Viney, you know, when he's played full time in that midfield, still a very good player.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to say that with that game, I was like hanging on to the very end because I needed Darcy Cameron to get like 91 Supercoach points to win in my cash league. So that game, honestly,
did he get it?
He did.
Yeah.
It was good. That was that was the highlight of the game for me because I think I was straight after work. I was tired.
But think about
that was the only thing keeping me awake.
Think about the intensity that they played at though. Like these two teams, they're serious teams, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like the way that Collingwood like handball in like 3 seconds, find the way through traffic. Not many teams can do that, man. And the fact that Melbourne was able to withstand that and actually win.
Tell you what, George. One guy that had a big impact was your boy, Bailey Fritsch,
Mate,
top 5 player at Melbourne.
That's what I'm saying.
3 goals, 3 is what it is. It's a decent return. But I'll say this. Darcy Moore was tasked with the responsibility of tracking him for a lot of the game, and he got outdone.
Yeah.
Fritsch outdid him.
Well, I think this is the first time I've seen... Collingwood still played well, but this is the first time I've seen Collingwood a little bit like, you know, dazzled.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't... Not all their kicks were perfect. You know, there was indecision. They got a bit lost. Like they just were under a lot of pressure. And even like a team that seemingly, you know, can handle the pressure the most and has like really skillful kicks and can just move the ball freely, still made mistakes. So Melbourne was able to just put a system in place and pressure enough to actually keep the Pies honest for once, which was good.
Absolutely. Moves them into the top 4 firmly now. So they're a win ahead of the Lions in 4th. Top 4 is looking pretty interesting. Collingwood, Port, Melbourne, Lions. I think we can all agree they probably are the 4 best teams.
Yeah.
I was going to say equal top 4, St Kilda and Essendon.
Yes.
Well, on 32 points, man.
That's crazy.
Wow.
It like the Port and Collingwood, I think, and Melbourne now are the clear best 3 teams. Brisbane because of their home factor, but who's better? I know that all right, they're ranked in the ladder, but who's better between Saints, Essendon, Dogs, Geelong, Crows, Gold Coast,
Mate, they're all similar,
Freo.
man.
They're all the same.
I think you have to say a fit Geelong, you'd back in a final, like a one-off final.
I think so too. Yeah.
Against most of those teams. I'll tell you what, man, Essendon, they've got that extra flair moving forward that I don't know the Saints have when push comes to shove. I actually rate the Bombers this year.
I think now, you bring in Peter Wright as, more of a focal point up forward. And something about their just, the role players that they have, like Sam Durham, you know what I mean? Random dudes like
Will
that. I'm
Snelling.
like, what's that?
Will Snelling.
Yeah,
Will Snelling. Not so much him, but no, you look at some of their role players and you're like, all right, this guy's doing his job. He's going in there. He's gutsy. Like, this is more for specifically Durham's. Like, these dudes are going in there, what's it called? You need those guys. You need role players. You need system guys. And they seem to have that. So,
Just thinking about those teams, maybe like Richmond, it just goes to show how much of a fight Richmond have to do just to compete with these guys. And then you think to yourself, Carlton, mate, you guys, wow, you're miles behind. It's
Crazy,
fascinating.
Man. Crazy. All right, boys, shall we get into the tips for next week? Yeah. So,
you know what? There's some. I didn't know if I wanted to do it this week, right? But I want to test you guys a little bit.
Okay,
right.
Here we go.
I didn't tell you guys about this pre-pod because it needs to be a bit of a surprise. Need to catch you guys a little bit off guard, right? I did a little bit of research on players who were really cheap on Supercoach, and I saw these names, and I'm like, ooh, as if these guys probably won't know them. So we're going to play a little bit of a game of who he play for, AFL edition, and I'm going to get it up in a moment here. All right.
These are just random players.
These are random players. Some of them, right, I feel like there's some of them you should know. I might go slightly easier to start with.
Who's nervous?
I'm very nervous.
So who does Connor Stone play for?
Giants.
Yep.
There we go. Correct. All right. Mark Sheether.
Ooh.
Sydney.
Correct.
Yeah, nice.
All right. So those are kind of actually here's another relatively
Sydney teams.
another relatively easy one. Jed Buslinger.
Oh, that's West Coast. No, sorry.
Who's bustling?
Adelaide.
You guys don't remember your draft?
Yes.
Huh?
No, hang on. I've tracked the draft so closely.
I've no idea, but he sounds like he'll be a good player based on his name.
Yeah.
Dogs. Sorry.
Dogs. Correct.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Here's another one that you guys probably will know as well. Francis Evans.
I've seen the name.
It was between.
Was it
Has he moved? Was he at?
Essendon? Is it
No,
Essendon?
no. It was Port.
He's at Port now.
Port,
So
yeah.
he was at Geelong. He went to Port.
He was at Geelong.
All right, now I'm going to go to let's see how you guys go with this one. Blake Howes.
Hawthorn?
No.
Wrong how.
In the wrong house. Blake Howes, who's in the draft maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Melbourne?
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
nice.
All right, here we go. Steely.
I think Blake Howes goes to the same subway that I go to.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Breaking news.
Friend of the pod.
There you go.
Steely Green. One of the best names in the AFL.
Steely Green, huh?
Yeah.
Not the band Steely Dan.
No, not Steely Dan. That's his middle name, actually.
Steely Green, I don't know.
No, neither do I.
I'll have a guess.
He played, huh?
I'll have a guess.
Yeah, go.
Gold Coast.
Nah, Richmond.
Okay.
No, I didn't let you have a guess there.
Richmond.
Right. Here's a couple more, right? Let's see if you guys remember this guy he had a little bit of buzz at the start of the season. Jason Gilby.
GWS.
Yes. What was special about Jason Gilby? Do you guys remember?
No.
He was on the 7 p.m. project, right? Because he doesn't drink water. He just drinks milk.
Oh, yeah, he's a milk drinker.
Bro
What?
just drinks milk.
What?
All right, I got a couple more.
What's his bone structure like?
It must be incredible. Here's another one. Clay Tucker.
Brothers with Darcy?
No, I don't think so.
Clay Tucker.
Clay Tucker.
Freo?
No. Nah.
That's Darcy. That Darcy
No.
Was Darcy.
before. Yeah.
What's that?
It was Darcy.
Clay Tucker.
Clay
What
Tucker.
team haven't we guessed yet?
It's a Melbourne team.
Clay Tucker.
Dogs?
Nah, but he was... Look, here's my little tip. He was a higher pick in the mid-season draft this year.
This year.
Clay Tucker. Did you just not pay attention after North's pick?
I did not see any other pick other than Marek at 1 and Hansen at 2.
No, fair enough. Who was the next pick?
Hawthorn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And all right, here's all right, we'll go with this one as the last one. All right. This one has the best name. All right. This is probably, in my eyes, the best name in the AFL, and we got to give him his flowers for having a sick name. Shadow Brain.
Shadow Brain.
Shadow Brain.
Wow.
Japan.
Yes, actually. No.
I've got no idea. I'll guess Collingwood.
No. He's a Brisbane player. Look at this. Shadow Brain. Shadow.
It's French.
That's
Shadow Brain.
fantastic.
That is one of the best names I've seen.
That guy's not playing AFL, man.
Nah, surely not. Surely not. I hope he does, man. Like the commentators would have a field day with that one. Shadow Brain.
He's injured at the moment. What's the situation? Bro?
I didn't look, man. But Shadow Brain. Shout out to him.
Fair enough. Matsa once again with a surprise segment.
That's it, man.
Thanks very much for that.
Yeah, no. I thought I didn't want to give you guys any warning because I think we discussed it at some point a few weeks ago. But then I'm like, I'm gonna spring it up on them.
Yeah.
When they least expect it.
No, definitely the way.
If you said Shadow Brain and you're like Brisbane, I think there's something up between you two.
Yeah, true. Nah. See, Dino did know, but he didn't want to make it too sus.
Yeah. Got to stay humble.
Well, he's been up to Brisbane, so he's probably met him in person.
Got to stay humble. Stay humble.
I need to see what Shadow Brain looks like, man.
All right, while you're doing that, I'll say the first of the tips because I think we're running a bit overs today, fellas.
Yeah,
So
for sure. For sure, yeah.
Port v the Cats at Adelaide Oval.
Let's go Port, man.
Port.
Yep.
11 in a row, baby.
11, man, that's crazy. Brisbane back at home against the Swans. I think you have to go Brisbane. Yep. George is deciding on all of our behalf right now.
Get through them, baby.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Giants v the Dockers in Sydney.
Freo.
Let's go Giants, baby.
Giants at home v Freo.
Yeah, all right. We'll go Giants.
I'll go Giants.
I'm going with whatever George says, so we get through them.
All right, Richmond hosting the Saints at the G.
Brisbane hosting
Richmond hosting the Saints at the G.
Oh, this one I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Saints.
Yeah,
same. Carlton hosting the Suns at the G.
We can't go Blues.
I want to hear you say it.
Because you've been doing the tips this week.
Carlton.
Oh, he's stuck by.
So what was the other team?
Gold Coast.
Them.
Yeah. I'm going Suns by 36 points.
36.
North hosting the Doggies. Me and Matsa are going to this game, like real members do.
That's it.
No, definitely Doggies.
Doggies are going to win.
Yeah. I'm happy to go Doggies. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I think we're going to do some actually really quick grades of teams on the bye. Letter grade. We're going to breeze through it. Adelaide.
Oh, and the bye coming.
Yeah, they're on the bye. What's their grade so far this year?
Adelaide. I'm gonna go B+.
Yeah.
I'll go A-. Yep. Crow. Sorry, I said Crows. Pies.
A+.
Yep, A+.
A+.
Yep.
Bombers.
A+ as well. A+ as well. I thought they were going to be bottom 14, so A+.
I'll give them an A.
Yeah.
Hawks.
I'm gonna give them for the recent performances.
It depends on what you thought of them, right? It's how they've beat their expectations, I think, right?
Yeah, I think they were like a C- in the first 2 weeks, and then maybe like an A to A- for the rest. So we'll go with B+.
B+. Yeah.
I'll go B. Melbourne.
I think it's a B+ as well because even though they've been playing bad, but they're still third.
They're still contenders.
Exactly. Right? So yeah, B+.
Cool. And Eagles. F.
Z.
N A, non applicable. I don't want to. Yeah,
fair enough.
It's tough.
And we actually forgot to do this last week, so 2 more. Geelong.
It's like a C+ at best.
C.
Yeah, I'll give them a D+.
Oof.
They're out of the 8.
Yeah, true.
And the Suns.
C+ again.
No, Suns. They're starting to come good, man.
Yeah, but also
give them a B-.
B.
All right, cool. No more surprise segments. We're good. All done.
Well,
actually, I'm running for president.
Well, speaking of running, actually, thanks for bringing that up. Just real quick, we are very close to 100 subs. So thanks everyone for subscribing. And remember, at 100, George will race Bo McCreary. He had the injury scare. He actually played. He turned up.
And he looked quick too, the bastard.
He looked really quick. So George, you better start practicing, mate. I know you have been, but train harder. But yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like today's episode. Thanks very much for watching and listening. We'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, bye.